All right, welcome back to the D-League Perspective. It's been, I looked at the last date, it's been 2 years and 1 month. We had Luke Kluver on. Shout out Luke Kluver. Hope he's doing well. He's Boomer Sooner now, but he's doing well. But got Coach Bittner here and Coach Craven, and we're happy to be back. We also have intern Wyatt. That's what I'm going to call you now, Wyatt, intern Wyatt. So we're pretty excited to have him on board. He's going to help us with some of this stuff and social media and our website. We're really excited to work with him here for a couple months. So, but hey, let's just dive into it, boys. First of all, TC, you want to give us a little update on how your guys' season's going there at AG?
Yeah, absolutely. I think we're 21-2 here going into sub-district week. So Tuesday we got the opportunity to host our sub-district. We'll host Louisville in the first round, and then on after our game, Wahoo Newman and Wahoo will play, and then the winners will play on Thursday for the sub-district final. Kind of crazy that our sub-district has 3 of the higher teams in power points in C1. So I think all 3 of us are sitting in an okay spot, but obviously you want to win every game you play in. So getting down to that postseason grind, you gotta play a little bit stronger, got to play a little bit slower, a little bit simpler, and just find a way to win.
I saw that you guys have a tough sub, and then I talked to TJ O'Connor today from Fort Calhoun, and obviously I'd say both you guys probably got 2 of the toughest sub districts in the state in C1, which is crazy because he said it's like we pretty much got to win our sub to get a chance to play a sub-state game because there's, obviously your guys' sub district. If you guys get beat, you're still going to get probably a wild card to get into a sub-state game or a district final, whatever you guys call those now. It's just crazy how it's almost like to the point where, all right, we're still not getting the best teams in the state because like TJ said today, he goes, he's been there, I think 8 years at Fort Calhoun. They've had 14, 15, 16, 17, 19, maybe I think they got 18 wins this year. And he goes, we've never had a number 1 seed in our sub-district, which is just crazy. And then you look at other sub-districts around the state, whether it be D2, D1, you got losing records as a number one seed in a sub-district. And I just don't think that's completely fair. But I guess that's just the, how regional, sub-districts are. That, there's a team that's won 18 games this year in C1 and might not get a chance to play for state. And it's like, and there again, if you go in like where your sub-district, you got Wahoo Newman, Wahoo, you guys, and you're probably all top 5 in power points in that general area.
Yeah, something like that.
Well, 2 of
those 2 sub-districts, the one that
2 of those teams are not going to make it out of your sub-district. There's 3 teams in the top 5 in power points, and one's going to win. 2 of them are going to be left out. Well, they're going to make, a sub-state game or whatever they call them. And then you got TJ's. They got Douglas County West, Omaha Concordia, and Fort Calhoun. Well, only one of those teams are going to win. And then there's 2 teams left out there. Well, there's 4 teams right there in 2 sub-districts that deserve to play in a district final to go to state. And somebody's going to be left out probably because you're going to have some team playing for a sub-state game that got a 10-12 record, and what's right, what's wrong, I don't know. And chances are that 10-12 team isn't going to make it to state because they're going to be the 16th seed and they're going to end up playing Ashland, Greenwood, or Auburn, in the sub-state game to make it to state. I don't know what's right, what's wrong, but
I think we've made a lot of progress even since, I played back in 15 where your sub-district was aligned with another sub-district and you had to win your sub and then get to a district final against whoever that sub-district was. And that was it. And you got one wild card in the state. And so we've definitely made progress. But I think obviously everyone can see there's flaws, and that we need to continue making progress, whether that's, I think the simplest change would just be have 8 districts and have 8 wild cards into that district final round like Class B does. Obviously, if you want to get more specific, you can start to make subs later in the year when you know how good teams are. You could start to make subs in a pool of geography, so that way you can kind of serpentine within geography a little bit. There's been a couple proposals around right now, and I think one of them might pass before next year. Just kind of clean it up year by year a little bit better.
Yeah, I would agree.
What's Class A do? Doesn't
Class A serpentines the whole state, but they only go as far west as North Platte. So when you only split the state from North Platte to the right, to the east, you're not really. It's not as far as, when you have Scottsbluff and Gering for B, you have Chadron for C1. It gets a little bit tougher to do kind of some of those things. But that's why there's some different proposals out there.
Yeah. Well, as long as they're always willing to change, and have you got to play any shot clock games this year?
Yeah, we played quite a few. We always wanted to play with it just because we knew it was coming. Get prepared, use this season as a preparation for the next season. And also, I think it benefits us a little bit. So we use it, I don't know. We played 23 games. I bet we used it 10 times.
Serious?
At least. So
nice.
Yeah.
Dang.
And, I guess we're just visiting right now.
You guys have a shot clock, do you?
What's that?
We have shot clocks at our school, yeah.
Oh, you do? Okay.
Mm-hmm. We got them. It was nice. Our admin put them in. It was really nice. So
yeah, because I went down and watched Todd play this year, and David City had him in already. So I don't know if they played the Class B, the B team this year, but David City already had the shot clocks above their scoreboards. With that being said, we're just having conversation here. What do you think it looks like for summer basketball? Maybe not this summer, or I would see it definitely next summer. Obviously, we've talked about putting up a facility, and that's in the works, and that's a whole different, podcast. But my question is if high school is going to shot clocks, the whole state is, will UBT, Iowa West, will we start playing in the summer with shot clocks? You guys ever see that happening?
No.
I could see it. I know like my brother Cale played in a couple tournaments where they did have them. The only thing with the shot clock that happens then is you got to provide a worker at all 8 courts. And that probably can't be, a team parent or a team mom, team brother, or, however you're getting that volunteer to run that table. It probably has to be someone employed by the facility, which obviously then we know is 8 times 12 an hour times 12 hours.
Yeah, will JV have shot clock next year?
Yep.
Everything will have a shot clock. So why wouldn't summer implement that when we're playing summer basketball? If we're trying to get kids ready for high school, I can see 5th grade through 8th grade not having it, but I can see, all high school, club U15, 16, 17 having the shot clock when you play during the summer.
Yeah, I wouldn't be against it. You just asked if we thought those facilities would be getting them. I'm not sure that's on my radar. I don't know.
It just makes me wonder if those type of facilities, and maybe UBT already has shot clocks above their scoreboards. I think they maybe do. I don't know.
I have no idea.
I don't think so, but my gut reaction would be no, just because it's a money thing. You see these facilities and you're going, okay, now we've got to pay to get, UBT would have to pay to get 11 shot clocks put in, courts. They've got 11 courts there, right? So you're talking 11 shot clocks. Now you have to pay somebody to run the thing. I don't know. But it'd be the right thing to do, in my opinion. That's why we're going to put it in our facility, right, Coach?
Yep. Yeah, with that being said, though, I think a lot of these tournament directors, and I'll just say it, and I don't care if I offend anybody, and you can ask every coach, and it's no different than probably any club team or school team, whatever. it's the biggest pain in the butt is to find somebody to keep book for you. And that's a good requirement. You have to find somebody to keep book or keep clock for you at every tournament we go to. And so why not, if you're a tournament director, just give a pass to somebody, to the team that comes in, you or and obviously we are kind of blessed because we have awesome parents who volunteer for that. But why shouldn't they be rewarded for free admission for the weekend? And we don't have to worry about a clock, score operator. You're my person. You're my parent all year. If you're going to be at the tournament, yeah, I volunteer all year. You get in free. And maybe that's on us, as we should just make them coaches. But I don't know why tournament directors or people put on these tournaments go, hey guys, coaches are in free. If you got a shot clock, or if you got not shot clock, but if you got a scorekeeper or a bookkeeper, let us know and we get them in free for the tournament. Now, there again, do people abuse the rule? You know, we all know people try to get in freaking free instead of paying $8 or $10 to get in to watch their kid play. Why? I don't understand that. Now,
well,
at the same time, it hurts the
Coach,
people.
they used to do that, though. Remember?
Where?
They used to do that. They'd give us an extra wristband.
Well, true.
I'm talking when we first started.
8 years ago, yeah. Back when it was $5 to get in instead
our first couple years.
And so I just think it's like that's just you don't have to worry about the game being delayed 2 or 3 minutes because the kid and there again, I just saw this is like coach calls the kids in, hey, you need to go find a parent to keep book or run scoreboard.
Yeah.
You know, but that parent came to watch their kid play. So why not? For $20, you get in free all weekend. You're keeping for 4 games. You're keeping my book or my, running the clock. I don't know. I just think
it's
that
the
could
worst
be
when you're doing that. Hey, when you're doing that, you guys will relate to this. It's the worst. You bring the kids in. It's time to play. You got a minute left on the clock, and instead of huddling and going, hey, here's our game plan for 60 seconds, because that's what we get typically, right? You go, the ref goes, hey, coach, you need somebody to run the scoreboard. You go, gosh, dang it. Now you're spending 60 seconds pointing at a parent, making them feel guilty. And then all of a sudden, they're like, okay, let's go. And so you didn't talk to your team at all. And
Exactly.
They're like throwing the ball in the air. And you're like, okay, cool. Let's just, whatever. Run a play, run the offense. You know, it is like the worst thing in the world when you're coaching. But
so if we get a facility, if we get a facility someday, then if we host a tournament, or even at our tournament, if we're going to host a tournament this year, then that's going to be a rule. We send that out there. Or bookkeeper,
love that,
clock person, and we can get them a different wristband per se. I don't care. We can get you get a whatever, and you get in free.
Love it. We're doing it.
Done deal.
We'll get to that in a little bit.
All right.
Well, that was a good intro to Tyler Craven. So, hey, Coach, you mentioned earlier Fort Calhoun. We were lucky enough to have you go over there for the day, and Coach O'Connor, TJ, he's a good friend of ours. He's coming on the pod here. He said here in maybe a week or so. But he had you come over for a couple hours, work with some kids there. How'd that go today, Coach?
It was good. It was like I said, it's Fort Calhoun's on the eastern side of the state, so it was a nice little drive. It's always good talking to TJ. You know, like I said, like as Tyler said, they're into Tuesday they have a tough sub. So we talked a little basketball about how his team is this year. Grayson Bauman was there, shooting on the gun. Him and his dad were. So I got to talk to him for a little bit, and TJ had some 7th and 8th graders that I worked out for an hour, and then brought him some like 3rd, 4th, 5th, and 6th graders. There's like 30 of them. Obviously you guys all know what 3rd, 4th, and 5th and 6th graders are like. A lot of energy. With that being said, I asked him, brought him in. TJ introduced me. Asked them all right away, how many of you guys want to be great? And obviously, you're talking 30 kids. They all raise their hand that they want to be great. brought up the point. I said, hey, do you guys have any teachers that are really tough on you? And obviously the kid that per se was a class clown raised his hand right away. Yeah, I've got teachers, and it's like, I can see why you think that teacher's mean. And so we brought it up, and I told him, I said, I'm going to be the worst teacher you guys got. I said, I'm going to be that teacher that holds you accountable, and you're not going to get away with nothing today. So obviously we got into it. We warmed up. We've done a lot of great drills with these kids, whether they retain anything or not. But, you know, I'm not, you guys know me. I'm not one, I don't care if you're a third grader, fourth grader, or a high school kid or a college kid. It's like, I've never been the type of guy that, goes soft on you. And you know this, Mitchell and Tyler. It's like, I hold everybody accountable just as well as you're a third or fourth grader. I think accountability is huge. And the quicker that you can teach that accountability, and like I told these kids, I said, when they left today, I said, I want you to go to school tomorrow and make somebody better. Be accountable for your actions, be a great teammate, be a great classmate, and great things will happen for you. I said, you all have the ability to be great. And, obviously at that age, we don't know what kids are going to be at that age. I've been in this long enough that I've seen, third graders, fourth graders, fifth graders that aren't real skilled, but they got a will, they got a passion. And if they just stay the progress, great things are going to happen for them. And it might not happen in basketball. It might be football, it might be soccer, it might be baseball, it might just be music, band, dance, whatever it may be. But what we did today was, it was an activity, and it was basketball today. But are all these kids that I saw today, and there's like 30 of them, are they all going to be great basketball players? I don't know, but I hope they all become great at something. And that was kind of the purpose of the day, was just get in front of these kids and let them have fun. We had fun. We laughed. I called some kids out, and hopefully they, get something out of that. And tomorrow they're a better kid. So yeah, it was a great day today. Couple hours over there, a couple hours back, but I love doing it, and I'd do it again tomorrow. So
good. No, that's good. We again, geez, sorry. No, that's good. We appreciate TJ for having us over, and we've probably been over there. Shoot, I don't know, 5 or 6 times maybe over the last few years, but yeah, we're always rooting for you, TJ. So thanks for having us. A couple other things. We're ending winter basketball today. A couple of weeks ago, we started our volleyball teams. So Coach Danae and Coach Tracy and the rest of the coaching staff are up and running. I think there are 3 practices in, and I think we got about 20 teams or so, give or take. And a lot of girls playing for us, getting better at the game of volleyball. So, still working on skills development, all that good stuff. So, they'll be up and running with tournaments here and just before we know it. So, winter teams ended today. We shout out to Coach Mark Keith. He's been with us for quite a few years now. Did a great job and really helped kind of spearhead that. Coach, let's start with you, Coach Craven. What are your thoughts on winter program for what we do?
Yeah, I think it's something that's difficult a little bit with how we embrace skill work and that process. And with people being super busy, whether it's playing school basketball, whether it's wrestling, there people are involved in some baseball hitting stuff, and during the winter, it becomes a lot. And I don't think it's maybe necessarily our area. I think we can provide some skill work opportunities during the winter moving forward.
Yeah, I think those are all good points, Coach Craven. I guess I would add, and you kind of hit on it a little bit, but I just don't think that what we do will ever be competitive in a winter program, because we want to keep what we do at the forefront of what we're coaching, and that's skill development. And it's really hard when the kids, especially in small towns and have their own school stuff going on, they they get pulled in a lot of directions. And when we get them, we want to help develop them, but also we need to teach them strategy too. And then we go to tournaments and we're playing against teams that have maybe been playing for like 3 months and practicing for 4 or 5 days a week. Our first boys game up here in our Norfolk teams, bless you. Our first boys game with our Norfolk team here was against actually a grade above and a school team, and they're running like a trapping 3-2 zone, and we had only taught them a man offense, and so Coach Keith and I kind of looked at each other and go, crap. When in the summer you don't have that quite as much. The summer's not necessarily school teams, but so I think it was an experience. I think it was a learning experience for all three of us on this podcast right now. I think we could get better at it. But I think at the end of the day, I think all three of us would agree that we need to stick to what we're good at, and that's skill development. And by offering maybe a winter skill series or something to that extent, I think we could impact more kids. And that's kind of what we've always been about is, how many kids can we impact, help become better basketball players. I think one of the things we maybe lost sight of is we can run a skill series and then they can go back to their school teams, use that, and they can realize, hey, I'm getting better and I'm starting to use some of this stuff in practice and in games. I think, obviously TC, I don't know the kids down there that played, but I'm assuming the majority of them were great kids and easy to coach and all that. But, up here in Norfolk, we had awesome kids, awesome parents. We had no issues at all. They played really, really hard, and they were coached hard, and I think they received it well. So I had a great time coaching. We got our butts kicked a few times, but I saw this weekend we were pretty competitive over in Sioux City, and again, I'd shout out Coach Keith all day long for helping us kind of get through this first year, and we'll evaluate whether we're going to do it going forward or not. But like I said, it's hard to do. It's hard to focus on skill development when in the winter is very, very strategy focused, if that makes sense. So yeah, that's again, thanks Coach Keith and Coach Savannah and Coach Salzman and
Coach Merritt and Coach Bryson. Yep.
There you go. A couple young bucks. So, but that kind of leads us into boys tryouts. Tryouts are in 2 weeks. Are you guys ready for this or what?
We're excited for tryouts, Mitchell.
And go.
Obviously, this is the first year where we're doing all three cities, Grand Island, Fremont, and Norfolk on the same day. Obviously, March 3rd is junior high tryouts on a Sunday for 5th grade through 8th grade. All three locations, same day. Like I said, I'm excited and kind of nervous that Mitchell's going to be running Norfolk by himself this year. Obviously, he'll probably require a lot of help to do that. So, in years past, I've always gotten a hard time at the end of tryouts talking about kids because I've been so engulfed in running the tryout and making sure the tryout was basically a skill development session that I don't remember any of the kids. So it's kind of exciting for me to let Mitchell get in the fire and have to run one himself. And I'm sure it won't be as good as what I do, but sometimes you got to cut the umbilical cord and let the kid go. So, but anyway, yeah, excited for that. And then the week after that, we have high school tryouts once again, all the same day and basically the same times. I think Fremont might be a little bit later, but yeah, exciting time of year. Tryouts are coming on. So it's always tryouts are coming. It's the end of the season for high school teams and heartbreak and teams making it to state. And watched a lot of our kids play this year. I know like the high school season is 25 games, 26 games right now. And I can't even imagine how many games I've been to this year to watch, try to get to watch a lot of our kids play. I know I haven't made them all, so I apologize for that. But I've made quite a few. Haven't got to watch Tyler's team play yet, but I've watched a few of our Grand Island kids play a couple times this year. So And that's the nice thing about kids. And, what our program does is it's just the relationships and how kids are so appreciative of when you come and watch them play. I mean, obviously, Mitchell, we met over in Battle Creek last week, and I got to talk to some of the girls and some of the heartbreak in the sub-district final game. But the kids are so appreciative when you come watch them play. And that's the main thing is, back to what we do is, trials are coming on, and we'll get some new kids, and we're probably going to lose some kids, and we'll get some new kids trying out for us. And it's those relationships that you see during the year, and you see kids on Facebook that played together, and now they're playing against each other. They're competitors, and just relationship with the coaches and the parents, and it's just an exciting time of the year for us because it's like it's our time coming up here in the next couple months. So excited for tryouts again, excited for new kids to get into our program, and looking forward to it.
Well, first of all, it's not just me running the tryout in Norfolk. We've got a whole army of coaches that are very experienced and very good and will help me. But second of all, I mean, I love looking at the list of tryout, the list of kids. There's quite a few names I don't know, which is kind of my favorite. Means we get to meet new kids, hopefully get them into our program, and then do the whole thing, help them become better basketball players, help them create relationships, help them get a great experience, etc. So, really looking forward to a couple weeks ago quick. It always seems like it's so far away, and then boom, it's here. And, we've got a bunch of kids, working really hard, trying out. So, TC, how you feeling about Fremont down there?
Yeah, we're really excited. This will be the second year of us running it without one of you two guys there. So obviously, with that experience, you just feel a little bit better. Having done it one time, we feel like the dates and the times fit us better and fit our clientele better down here. We're just excited to get this thing rolling, get all the names in the thing, and get going.
All right, Coach, I got a question for you. I want both of you guys to answer it because I think you both have maybe two different perspectives on it. But my question to each of you is, if you're a parent, why should your kid play D-League? Tim, you answer that first.
All right. Well, I guess number one thing is we've got to be one of the most affordable programs in the state. Second of all, we offer obviously we have 3 locations with Norfolk, Fremont, and Grand Island. So we try to keep travel time. Like 15, 20 years ago, I believe, Mitchell, you probably played, and obviously Tyler could fill on this, that you had to drive 2.5 hours to go play on a summer basketball team, whether it be Omaha or Bison was, big back when I was in school in the 80s. And then obviously you had to travel to, Omaha or Lincoln to find a team to play for. So obviously affordability is one, location, tournament schedule. We don't travel all over the United States. We try to keep it within 2 hours for most, from each location. Obviously, sometimes that's going to vary a little bit. So tournament schedule. And then obviously what we try to hang our hat on is we provide, 15, 16 opportunities, skill development / practices to develop, young men and young women to become better players. So ultimately they could go back to their high school teams in the fall then and help them win some games. So that's my thought on that one.
Love it. Hey, from a part of a very successful high school program, maybe put like a high school coaching perspective on it. Why do you think kids should play for D-League?
Yeah, I think I'm able to bring that unique perspective of being a high school coach, being a high school teacher. Number one, I think it's the way we do our scheduling. I think it allows for kids who are in that high school system to play in the spring, whether that's track, golf, soccer, baseball, whatever that is. The way that we do tryouts in March, and then we give you that whole spring to to be a part of that program or culture or community that you're in, to do those other things and not bog down your time. I also think the way that we stay out of June with our games allows for high school coaches to have their basketball players in June, just like every high school coach wants, right? So as we go schedule things for our high school, we're going to schedule them in June, and we would like to have everybody there and not picking to play with their AAU team or something like that. And so we try to avoid that conflict by not even scheduling something during that time, which I think is really appreciated by high school coaches. The next thing I would say would be the skill development, right? So we're really big on finishing, footwork, ball handling, and shooting. And those 4 things go into any high school program or system. So our goal is to take your kid, get them better for the spring, summer, and then in the fall, winter, they're implemented into your system, and you can do whatever you'd like on offense or defense, and hopefully they just improve their overall game. And so I think with the emphasis that we have on every practice having a skill development piece, and especially the first couple being all skill development, I think any high school coach really appreciates that and understands that we're not trying to run some offense or a brand new press or a different kind of zone and kind of fill their mind with that. We're trying to get them better at basketball for you as a high school coach to use in your system, whatever that is. And then the last piece I would say would just be the cost. I think, everybody's got stuff going on in the small town, and just the affordability that we have at keeping that cost at, $600-700 for the summer allows more people to play, gives more kids the opportunity, and allows high school coaches to maybe push us a little bit more as far as to their community to have kids play, because that cost is a little bit more affordable.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, all great points. I'll just add my 2 cents real quick. I think our, I don't know what you want to call it, tagline, mission statement, all that cheesy stuff, but is developing athletes and building relationships. And I think the way that we run our practices and our skill development, we're running skill development. It's grade 7 and 8 boys or whatever, 7 and 8 girls. They're all at the same time, but all, varied as far as age goes by hoop. We just say, hey, break it out and go. I think that builds a different culture compared to maybe some other programs. I think we have sort of a unified approach to it. And both of you guys can probably relate, but I know there's one picture that a mom got out there that Coach Bittner's coaching. I'm just sitting on the bench. I think Matthew Hagedorn was sitting on the bench with us, and that bench was full of kids. I had to make everybody scoot down so I could have a seat, and there was kids actually sitting on other players' laps, just cheering on the team, and it was an extremely fun and cool atmosphere. And I think that's kind of part of building a culture that we're good at. And so and I'll credit probably a little bit you, Tim, on just giving, going up to a younger kid and say, hey, come be my assistant coach. I say that all the time, and I think that started it. But this goes back to guys like Julian Hearn and Grayson Schultze and that group that I think they just started that, and all the younger kids saw that and just follow suit. So I think that's a big one for me, is just kind of creating the relationships. You guys hit on it. Our goal, I don't think any 3 of us here on this podcast have ever said to a player, hey, we're going to get you a college scholarship. That's not our goal, right? Our goal, and I say it all the time, I said it in winter practices, our goal is for when you're in high school to be watching you play at PBA on Saturday. That's our goal, plain and simple, is to help you become a better basketball player. So I think, that with all the skill development and the cost and the relatively local travel, and some of that's evolved. We might be going to Kansas City this year. That's as far as we've ever gone. I think it's for good reason. We'll hit on the scheduling in a little bit, but I think we need to evolve a little bit, but kind of stick to our roots. And so yeah, I think that's for the most of it on that. My next question for you guys, and TC, I'll ask you first. Because I'll preface the question. The question is, have you ever recruited a player to play for our program? And so I'll preface that as I've had, now probably I'd say roughly 4, 5, 6 parents reach out and say, hey, this program called us. What do you think? And I just think it's kind of interesting because I look back and, I can't say that was ever a game plan of ours as far as, recruiting quote unquote kids. But TC, be honest, have you ever done that?
Yeah, I don't think I can remember a time where I've called a kid and tried to get them to come to our program. I've had a ton of conversations with parents over the years, whether that's me calling them because of their interest or them calling me because of their interest, and just kind of discussing what we do, giving them all the information and letting them make the most informed decision they can for the investment on their kid. And so I definitely encourage our program. I tell them the positives, but I can't say that I've ever called a kid directly and asked them to be a part of our team.
Tim, how about you? I think I know your answer, but have you ever reached out to kids and said, hey, you need to come play for us?
Yeah, obviously we did. We've had that conversation in before, I believe. And initially I said, no, I've never recruited a player now, like I said, but it was brought to my attention that we did recruit a player when we first started 9 years ago. We went to watch a summer basketball game and recruited a kid by the name of Cole Wimhoff from Humphrey because we needed a big man. And so, yeah, we kind of recruited him. It was a great relationship, played for us 2 years, just an outstanding young man. I think he's a coach now, coaching freshmen at Columbus High. They're lucky to have him, but talk about a stellar young man who's going to do great things in his life. So, yeah, I have to say we did recruit him, but this day and age, recruiting could you say I'm recruiting when I see a kid say, hey, are you going to try out for us this year? Is that considered recruiting? Yeah, maybe it is. Is it recruiting when we call a coach, hey, coach, you going to send any players to our program this year, have them try out? Is that kind of recruiting? Yeah, kind of is. But as far as for actually calling a player and giving a player a spot in our program without, trying out or at least tried out for us in years past, we just don't. That's just not our deal. If you want to play for us, you play for us. And it's not wrong. If, like I said, if kids go play for another program, I wish them all the best. The bottom line is just to make kids better. So whether they're at our program or another program, and as long as they're getting better, I just feel we offer probably more in some aspects than other programs do. And there's probably other programs offer more stuff than what we do. So whatever fits the players, the best is what, I wish for them. So.
Yeah. And actually, I know we've talked to him and you've said, actually, we've at some points done the opposite, encouraged some of our maybe top end players to go try out for, an Adidas team or Under Armour team or whatever it may be. But I just find it funny because, it's like, people kind of look at us for advice, and I think our advice is probably, hey, do what's best for you, whatever you think is best for you. We would encourage you to go that route. And yeah, do we want all the best players to play for us in our areas? Of course we do, right? We'd be the straight line to the cameras if we said we didn't. But, I know there's 18, 17-year-old boys this summer. If they all played for us, we'd have 2 top teams, in my opinion. Some of them may have other plans, may have other things they want to focus on, and that's great. Again, do the best for you. But, as far as that goes, it's just kind of an interesting dynamic and one we get asked about from time to time. The E word, exposure, is always a big part of that. We want to get our kid more exposure. What do you think? And it's like, well, I want your kid to become a better basketball player at the end of the day. And that's what we're going to work on. And Coach, you always say college scholarships kind of, help find themselves, if you will. So, I would only probably add, yes, we needed, I think we only had 7 kids that year, Coach, on that team, on your team that year. We needed a big guy. That's probably if I was to ever recruit somebody, that's probably the only one we've ever could really admit to as far as that goes. But shout out Cole Wemoff. He's a good dude. I think he's having a baby or is just had a baby. I think he's going to have a baby in a couple months here. So shout out Dad Cole Wemoff. So yeah. But that kind of transitions us a little bit into our scheduling. We're switching it up a little bit this year. I'll turn it over to UTC maybe if you want to give your thoughts on our scheduling for the Fremont program first, and with a little bit of a change this year. What are your thoughts on that?
Yeah, I do think this is our best schedule yet. I think sometimes in the past we've gotten into schedules that were just kind of right? We wish it could have been a little bit better. We tried and some things fell through, whatever it was. But I think just the fact that we're going to open up going to Norfolk and treat it as a travel weekend for our teams is a great opening weekend for everybody. Then I think, going to River Cities and Omaha is always a great test for us. We really like playing down there. That is, where some college coaches will be during that weekend. Most of them are from Nebraska. And then the next weekend we'll stay in Omaha again, so just kind of show the improvement from week to week there. And then the last one we'll travel to either Sioux Falls or Kansas City. So I just think, the way that the travel lays out, the quality of the tournament, I think it's our best schedule yet. So I'm really excited for our program.
Agree. And so, Coach, how do you feel about Grand Island? It's, TC, we've always kind of argued a little bit about travel and, and really we're just trying to sort of appease different crowds, if you will, different locations. In the past, Norfolk's had to travel every weekend. Obviously, this year would be the first year that we don't. As we're hosting our first tournament this summer, but we're pretty excited about that. But Coach, being in Grand Island, unless we happen to host a tournament in Grand Island sometime in the future, what are your thoughts to the schedule?
I think it's like I said, it is what it is. And obviously, I remember we played last year in Omaha, and I think a lot of our parents, probably went back home. It's on I-80, so it's not that far of a trip home now. Same way Norfolk, Sioux Falls. If you want to drive, you can make it. It's 2 hours, 2.5 hours. Sioux Falls is probably 3.5 from Grand Island. I don't know, maybe 4. But obviously, that'll be an overnight stay. Kansas City as well will be an overnight stay. And I said, I think a lot of parents, like back to Norfolk, we had overnights all 4 weekends, and then until things change to where we can go, if we throw another Lincoln tournament sometime in the near future, obviously that's a hop, skip, and a jump for Grand Island, parents in the area to, drive back home if they so, choose or stay overnight, But I think most people that get into summer sports, whether it be baseball, soccer, whatever you're doing, I'm pretty sure that they're planning on an overnight stay, at least one night, for most summer activities.
Yeah, I think that, again, I kind of hit on earlier as far as trying to evolve as a program. I think this is probably, and again, I'll say the E word, exposure. I think this is probably our best lineup for that. I am working on it. I think we'll try to do some sort of a college showcase night the Friday that we host a tournament here, and try to get as many colleges within a couple hour radius here to watch, our top teams play either each other or maybe play some other top teams that come to the tournament, hopefully both boys and girls, and just give that opportunity to kind of highlight and get our players in front of maybe some college coaches. But TC, you hit on it. That gives us really kind of 3 weekends where, we're trying to get in front of some college coaches. We're going to try the Recruit Looks Tour tournament in Kansas City that last weekend. We've heard a lot of good things about it. I think it'll give us we don't know any better until we try. So it'll give us maybe a little taste of kind of what that's like. So I'm kind of excited to see how that goes. But that's the plan as of today. Obviously plans can change, but we're looking forward to it. But I agree. I think that the schedule is probably one of our best. And I think we really spent a lot of time, TC, Tim, talking about it. Hey, what's best for you guys in Fremont? what's best for Norfolk, what's best for GI, et cetera. So a couple more questions, and I think we're getting close to wrapping up here, boys. But what are you guys' thoughts? One of the questions we get like this time of year right before tryouts is, hey, we've got maybe a family vacation, or I've got whatever, maybe a baseball thing or something on one of the weekends of the tournament. What would your response be to someone that's asking those questions? Hey, is it worth my time to do this, even though maybe I'm going to miss a couple of things? TC, go ahead.
Yeah, I think it's our job, and that's why I talked about that parent phone call, is just to lay out for you what our schedule's like. Because we do, like you said, put in a ton of time to evaluate what's best for our communities that we're affecting. And so, we do a good job with our practice schedule and with our tournament schedule that I think we allow for, some vacations, if that's what it is, or baseball, or, some of those other things. So I really would challenge parents to reflect on that to see if they can make it work. And if they are really truly missing, 50% of the schedule, that's usually right on the line of when we make that, when we ask you to make that decision. So if you're going to make half of the tournaments or more, we think it's probably worth it. And at that point, if you're not going to make half of the things, then I think you just got to evaluate if you want to invest that money in your son not making half of it.
Yeah, agree. Tim, what are your thoughts?
I I kind of follow what Tyler said there. And obviously it's like we've all been there, and obviously there's a wedding or whatever, and you got to go to that. It's completely understandable.
Yeah.
The part that I have a problem with is I would just send you not commit to our program and come to 50% of the things, and that would include coming to 50% of the practices. And because me personally, I could care less if we played games. I'm more about the 15 or 16 practices we have. And it's like it's just the common. I'm trying to figure out the word I want to use here. In today's basketball world, Gannon Baker always said it best. He goes, you should have three practices, skill development sessions per every game played. And now in today's AAU world, whatever, it's exactly opposite. Everybody's playing 4 or 5 games on a weekend and practicing once a week. So to me, it should be 5 or 6 practices, play 1 game. And so back to, if you're going to miss one tournament, I'd still say sign up if you can make 90% of the practices. But if you're going to miss 2 weekends of games and you're only going to show up for half the practices, then I would say, you know what, this probably isn't the program for you guys, because I don't want kids coming to our program. And I always ask that question every year at the end is how many kids here made every single opportunity that was presented to them? And there's not a lot of them that can raise their hand, but there is a few. And but we always know that there's kids out there that sign up, and they may come to 3 or 4 practices and skip 3 or 4 and then make a couple more. But to me, that makes a difference on if you're going to improve over the summer or not. The games to me aren't what you're improving at. It's the games are just a chance to go out and play a game and have fun and work on your craft that you've been, or showcase your craft that you've been working on for 15 or 16 practices. And that's kind of like high school, same way. You practice hard all week so you can go on Saturday or Friday or Saturday and showcase your talents on the court. So that's my opinion on that.
Yeah, and I would just add, I think you both kind of hit on it, but it's sometimes I got the same email. I got the same email twice on the same day about a week ago, and it was like, "Hey, I'm going to miss 2 tournaments," and I just I get it, because we're playing games and we're competing, and that's ultimately what kids want to do and parents want to watch, but it drives me bonkers, because like, you guys are putting zero weight. If you could make 15 out of 15 practices and skill sessions and then play, the 8 to 10 games, I'd say that's probably worth it, because at the end of the day, we're trying to make you a better basketball player. We're not trying to play games, Now I get it as a parent, even I get it. But it drives me bonkers that people hold a lot of weight on the tournaments. But also too, if you can only make 50% of it, that sometimes can leave our teams in a bind. We've all been there. We've got 5 players because there's 4 of them gone for baseball or whatever. And, it's nothing that we can actually get mad about because we support multi-sport athletes and we understand that. But so yeah, I think really good points, by both of you. The other thing I would add to that is we will offer, I think hopefully in Fremont and Norfolk for sure, maybe coaching Grand Island too. We'll talk as we get closer, but I know we'll offer some skill series and maybe some skill options in those locations. So if maybe you are gone, you got a couple weddings and you're gone the 4th of July, it's just not going to work this year. We will still try to run some skill series and some skill development and give that opportunity to those that either can't play in our program because they're gone, or maybe those that don't make our program. So we want to try to help everybody become better basketball. Okay. The only other thing I would mention, and I know we've put some emails out and some social media posts on it, but we do have a new system as far as registering goes for our tryouts. And we're pretty excited about it. Straight through our website. It's a company we've been working with for a little bit now. But there's kind of 3 steps to getting registered. So 1, you have to register for an account on our website. 2, you have to create your participant, create your child or player. And then 3, you need to register for summer basketball tryouts. So that'll prompt you then to answer all the tryout questions. You'll pay $10 to register, and then you will get a confirmation email. So if you don't have a confirmation email, you didn't register correctly. So you can always just reach out and give us a shout, send us an email if you have questions. Do not send an email to Tim. He barely knows how to even work an email. So just go ahead and send that to you.
I won't argue that. Hey, but one question to piggyback off of what you said. Once a player registers, okay, say I'm just going to go with 6th grader that registers for tryouts, and they make our program, and so say they want to play again next year at 7th grade. Do they have to recreate another account, or are they already in there?
Nope, they're already in there. In there, so they'll just have to.
That's a great question.
So
it's
say
great. No.
So then here's another example, because I am socially media illiterate. What about like our fall skills series or summer skills series, or say we run a spring series here coming up, and we probably will run a spring series here after state basketball and tryouts are over through the month of April and maybe a little bit into May. Well, if they're registered for tryouts and they can just register for that summer skills series through Crossbar, and they won't have to punch in a bunch of information.
Correct. Yep.
Okay.
So that's kind of that's the nice thing of it. So once you create an account, it's just like any other online account. You've got your account, you've got your participants. I'll use myself. I have an account. I have my daughter Dawson created. If she wants to try out, we'll register there. And then if she wants to do, like you said, spring skill series, she can register there. If she by chance wants to register for fall volleyball, winter volleyball, whatever it may be, she can just register for those particular either tryouts or skill series or holiday hoops classic or whatever it may be. So, so yeah, once we get going with this thing, which we are, because we did volleyball this way, we did do the holiday hoops this way, we did Norfolk's winter basketball this way. So we are kind of rocking and rolling now. Then we can just register your participant for whichever they want to do on our website. So awesome. It eliminates a lot of work on our end. And the nice thing about it that I'm excited about, and working with the volleyball coaches, trying to get them, up to speed on how it works, is there is a communication app that coaches can communicate to their teams. Us as directors can communicate to our whole locations through that app. So instead of sending emails, sending group texts, I think that'll be smooth once we get it figured out. So volleyball is kind of our guinea pig with that. But we're working on getting that up and rolling for them as we get going in their season here just in just a few weeks. So, but no, good question, Coach. I think that hopefully that little bit will maybe help clarify some of that for some people. I think once you get in there and you do it, then it's second nature. But yeah, let us know if you have any questions. Otherwise, hey, we'll give a shout out. We are recording this on February 25th. TC and the AG boys, Coach Mose, heading to Lincoln for trying to go for that three-peat, baby. We'll see. We'll be rooting for you, obviously. But congrats to that. Congrats to we've got several players that played for us and their girls' teams heading to Lincoln. We'll be excited to watch them this next weekend. But other than that, we're actually going to hopefully get a couple more pods in within the next month or so. We've got a couple guests we can get on, and looking forward to that. So any final words, TC?
No, thanks. Thanks to Coach Bittner for being there yesterday. Means a lot to. I know that's a travel from where he currently lives to come and watch us and kind of invest that time in the guys that have played for his program for lots of years now. We've had AG guys in the program, so it's pretty cool to see him there. I know the guys appreciated that, and so then I know he headed over to the Riverside McCool Junction game, and the hometown boys of Spalding got the job done. So
yeah, it was. It's that time of year, TC and Coach, that you see a lot of tears, and you see so much excitement. Obviously, your game, last night wasn't, real, close game, per se. So the excitement at the end wasn't like I've seen at, some of the girls' district finals, and obviously at McCool Junction last night when Riverside pulled off a huge upset. I talked to Coach afterwards, Coach Scott, and thought he'd done a great job coaching at the end of the game, and his obviously boys made free throws, and this time of year in postseason basketball, you got to be able to make free throws, and his team did. And he said they can't make them in practice at all, but they made them when it counted. So, but yeah, like tomorrow night, I know there's a lot more, and then Tuesday night finishes up, and all the boys will be set for state. But yeah, there'll be a lot of excitement and a lot of tears in the next couple days. So it's always an exciting time. So let's get after it.
All right. Thanks, guys. It's been real. We'll be back soon, hopefully. And we're looking forward to see everybody in a week from today. Tryouts, 3 locations, the three Stooges running each tryout. So we'll be ready to rock, though. So we'll see everybody in a week. D-League out.